This is the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast, where we have conversations with everyday martial artists about their histories and how martial arts influence their daily lives. You are listening to the abbreviated version of this podcast, which is the first 20 minutes or so of the show. Please consider supporting the show by subscribing on our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/MALMAG, and for about the price of one coffee shop coffee per month, you can get access to 4 new podcasts each month, 1 week before their YouTube release dates. You also have access to all of our existing shows, which at this point is about 100 hours of shows for you to enjoy. Individual shows can be purchased at our Gumroad page. That is malmag.gumroad.com. If you're looking for some sticks for FMA, some cool t-shirts, or even a course on Dos Manos, have a stop by martialartslifestylemagazine.com and click on the store tab or on the courses tab for that course. This week, I get on Zoom and I connect to Hawaii, and I talk with martial artist Karl Carlysle. We talk about how he got into martial arts, about his time with the gritty martial arts scene in Detroit, how he got involved in the Inosanto martial arts family, and moving to Hawaii, as well as other things. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast. And today I'm hooking up with nice and sunny, beautiful Hawaii on Zoom. And I'm talking with an old friend of mine from the Inosanto family, of course. And he's also in the Tall Guy Club, you know, so I this guy sees eye to eye with me. Karl Carlysle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm glad to be here. Today is a bit of a rainy day. It started out sunny.
Yeah. Well, you know, a little rain, but not getting the Florida weather at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I'm really like everybody there's in my prayers, man. Sincerely.
Yeah, it's some pretty tough stuff. It's funny because, or not funny. I mean, funny, not haha, but funny, strange. In that I lived in the Tampa area for about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And in the early 90s. That's where I got started in JKD and Kali.
And
at that time period, so the early 90s to mid 90s, there had only maybe historically a couple of hurricanes that hit that area directly. And that's because of where it's located. A hurricane would have to come into the Gulf and make this complete U-turn to hit. So it was kind of like they would get ends of stuff because usually, you know, it'd go up and hit Texas or Louisiana or something in the Gulf, maybe the Panhandle of Florida, but it wasn't exactly the blast zone for them. Tropical storms, tropical depressions. So, that's how it was, I guess, 30 years ago when I lived there. And now they've gotten 2 in a month.
Yes, and it does look very odd. And I've been in and out of that area while I was in the military. I used to go down to Hurlburt, and then I've also been down to Panama City Beach and stuff. So, it looks weird. And I've been down Louisiana for Katrina.
Yeah. Well, Tampa Tampa's got that Air Force base there, right? MacDill or something like that. That's like
MacDill.
Yeah, the JSOC thing, or where they were at one time. Yeah, it's interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us how you got involved in martial arts, the kind of how and when and why?
Yeah. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, raised in Benton Harbor also, because a lot of the family came up from the South and moved into my mother's side of the family, moved Benton Harbor, Chicago, Detroit, Flint, and Dad was former Army, and me coming up, Dad tried to teach me a little bit of stuff. I was the bullied kid. I was not super athletic. I was getting my butt kicked, but it was. I think that where I get my eclectic side is from him, because he was always like, however you got to defend yourself. When you're defending yourself, you have, he was really out of the box. A lot of, grew up in Flint when there was boxing and judo. And then, he went to the Army, and went to the airborne in the 50s, and it was Army hand to hand, and they were really eclectic and really down and dirty. And I went through Taekwondo and then Wing Chun and Kaji Kimbo from one guy who was a Vietnam era vet. He was Shaolin Kung Fu, Kaji Kimbo, and Wing Chun. And then later on it was Tang Sudo, and then I got through school and joined the Army. And when I joined, I went to Korea, my first contract. And while I was there, it was the assurance between me and the recruiter. He's like, "Hey, would you go get your black belt in Korea if you went?" I said, "Yeah, of course. I'm an 18-year-old. You offering me a chance to go do this? Cool." Did it, and came back, served for a while in the Army, and did that, and kind of even had a break from the martial arts, and got out, came back home to Michigan in '88. Went back through Taekwondo and Wing Chun and all that, and fought tournaments. As a matter of fact, how I had always been searching for the Jeet Kune Do, because growing up as a little kid, me being a bit older, seeing the Green Hornet, seeing Sifu Bruce, and on the Green Hornet, and then being 10 years old and seeing Enter the Dragon the first time, I was like, I want to fight like that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to learn what he's doing, and had actually taken a peek at the Tao Jeet Kune Do several times in my life. Early on, it was like, no, I don't understand what the crap this is. I'm like, whoa, this is deep. Then I saw it again in my 20s and went, okay, read a little bit. Then later on, when I got older, read a little bit, and then it kind of went, you know what? Wow, I want to mix and match arts and see where that goes, and this, that, and other. And finally, I met an instructor at MSU. I was at a tournament, saw him wearing a varsity style jacket, and said, "Hey, man, you do Jeet Kune Do?" He's like, "I teach it," and it was Julian Laredo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we met. That was 1995. So Julian, and then a year later, 96. It was, I'm driving from Flint to Lansing to his school, and finally realized, wow, okay, if I'm going to do this, I can only make it here a couple of times a week, but I better be in here. So I'd stay 4 hours a night, come in until I finally moved to that county. But I'd come in, do 4 hours. Last class was always Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I always got twisted up by the 4th hour. And that was incredible.
Of course, that's what's crazy about it.
So now I'm sorry.
I said, when you're most tired, of course, it's like,
yes,
I'm doing that one when
yeah. And one of his assistant instructors, who was the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, was a guy who had lived in Brazil for a while. Dan Thomas, really cool dude. He played Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like a chess game, and when he's training you, he put me in a move, and then he goes, "Dude, tap," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm caught." And he's like, "Yeah," he said, "This is what I did. This is how I did it." Okay. I was like, "Okay, now you feel that? Okay, tap." And
I always thought I was the only one too dumb enough to tap, like not to tap. Like I didn't even realize I was in trouble.
it was oh no, I really, it was really a thing of, he was crawl, walk, running me through it, like and playing chess and just going, "Okay, I got you in this. I got your arm like this. Okay, you need tap. Okay." I'm like, "Okay, wow, I'm getting a lot here in this last hour, and I'm tired." But that was cool. And I was with Julian for 3.5 years. I was with him from 96 to 99. Then
Wow.
he shut down the school, and he moved away for a while. He's back in Michigan now. God bless him. Hey, feel like
Sounds
my
like
Lord said,
try to get on the show, huh?
huh?
Sounds like an interesting guy to actually get to on here.
Oh yeah, him. And then I went away to do some training with the Air Force, and then I came back in 2001, and I got with Scott Hand. So I got with Scott and trained with him from 2001 all the way to 2012 when I moved to Hawaii.
Wow.
So both guys really opened me up to what I'm doing in June Fawn and Kali, and just, hey, the sky's the limit. I was only limited by me, not by anything else. Just, hey,
Mm-hmm.
and and I believe that what we're doing in the martial arts is God given. It's a gift, and thank my Lord Savior Jesus Christ that I got it, because I really went through a lot to finally find that. I was going through arts, and then I started going, you know what? I feel like I'm going through all the same material again. And then ran into Julian, and he was like, "Here, come check this out." I was like, "Okay." And then when he went away, then it was a nice unbroken line, because both those guys came from Mid Michigan Martial Arts Academy, from Dan Timlin. And
Right.
so I went over to Scott, and now that I'm here in Hawaii, I'm on Hawaii Island, so I haven't really got a chance to go connect with Burton Richardson, but
Mm-hmm.
been in contact with Burton. Then also there was Tyler Kwando. He was living here for a while. Trained with him for a minute.
Good.
He's on his personal journey, because I think he's somewhere else overseas, or in Alaska somewhere. So he's
Yeah. It
doing
seems
his
like
thing.
he's sort of the traveling vagabond martial artist guy all the time.
Yeah, really good dude,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely on his journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've touched on other martial arts. I mean, Japanese karate, traditional karate, Seikan, and also Shido-ryu. Kind of trying to get the feel for other stuff, fighting tournaments and things like that. Is just that I had always been down this road to where I am now, being with the academy, being with you guys, and I'm never bored, because
Right.
I love the martial arts overall. It's just the way that I'm built is I'm going, okay, not bored. What's the next thing? Let's learn.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, I understand. So you said when you'd done something with the Air Force, so did you sign up for the Air Force too, or was that like a cross training from the Army, or was that something you were doing as a civilian?
I've been Army and Air Force. I went over to Air Guard briefly for a while, and then they activated me into the Air Force while in training. I was down at Hurlburt, getting some classes, cultural classes. And then I went down to Keebler Air Force Base for Air Force weather. Did do so hot, and that is extremely hard course. I mean, academically just killing me. But while I was down there, I was training with a gentleman that ran a martial arts school for No Holds Barred. That's what they were calling MMA back then.
Right,
Still,
right. Yeah, I remember
so
those days.
NHB. So I did a grappling tournament under him. Guy named he was an Air Force medical tech named Robert Parham out of New Jersey, and he's
Okay.
the guy that kind of really he kept me working on my boxing and on my wrestling and striking and everything like that. And he's also the guy teaching me a little bit more finesse in boxing, how to work my way out of a corner. Because
Nice.
a little short guy that would really kick crap out of me right in the corner, touching me, and he look at me and go, "Hey, work your way out." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, this is really happening right now." Okay, but I was down there 5.5 months, so I still was training, but then I got back home to Michigan, and that's when me and Scott linked up, which me and Scott had met each other already, and that had been the thing where I really was training with him a lot, getting myself ready, because Julian had a belt system with Laredo's cross trainers, and
Mhm.
I was like the last black belt he actually tested out before
Oh
he
wow.
completely shut down. That was about a 3 to 5 hour test. yeah, Julian, correct me, contact me, and correct me if I'm wrong about the testing time, but I got my butt whooped. But it was great. It was, and then got with Scott and had already started doing seminars with Guru whenever he come into Troy or Clawson. So was really, yeah, keeping at it,
Hmm.
trying to get at it, living life as usual, working, training, doing that. And when was it? I had I had done a Muay Thai fight, an exhibition fight um when I was with Julian, and then there was school, and then there was me coming back and training with Scott, and then and we were doing a lot of stuff, continuing everything. Grappling was always my weakest subject, but
Uh-huh.
the everything I just kind of just kept on pushing, and 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 it was really, I don't know, it just, the experience for me was great. I was living a kid's dream. I,
Right.
the whole thing, living a kid's dream. Yeah, there was life and bumps in the road, but really just beautiful stuff. I ended up signing up to go to the Arnold Classic, thinking I wanted to do kickboxing and do stick fighting there, 2003, 2004. Because I was like, what am I going to do? I haven't competed in a while. Yeah, I need to do that. And maybe I need to test myself, all that stuff that goes through your head, and told Scott, and he was like, okay, get training. And trained a year out. And it was, it was really, you know, there goes that journey again. And we went to the Arnold. I went to the Arnold twice, and kind of opened my eyes to the world of fitness, martial arts, everything like that. They were doing everything from boxing to kickboxing to powerlifting to no gi submission wrestling. You know,
Wow.
um, yeah, it's really, I I think about all the stuff that I got a chance to see, and some of the people I got a chance to meet. Because that first Arnold, I met Jun Ree and met Bong Suhan,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
met met Bob Wall. didn't
Wow.
didn't even realize that June Ree had been good friends with Sifu Bruce. So that was kind of like, oh, okay, something I didn't know. you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
ran ran into Kung Lee and Cynthia Rothrock, Eric Lee. Just kind of saw these people and went, oh, okay, it's real over
Oh,
here. yeah,
yeah. Two of
there's a lot
yeah.
of people. Um, that that second year, I went and fought it. And fought stick fighting. Was kind of funny. Got a stress fracture in my arm. I won both fights both years, but it's funny. The first fight they had pretty much still helped carry me out, and I'm seeing some guy from Chinese Sanshao kickboxing. He's knocked out. He gets carried out. That's that first year, right?
Yeah.
Second year is kind of weird and everything, and and I'm running to people, talking to people, and so crazy. I bump into this girl. I'm just kind of bopping along. I just won my fight. I'm kind of tired, arms wrapped up, and I'm bumping this lady, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. She's like, oh, that's all right. She walks right by me, and I look and I go, what? No. It's Shannon
Oh,
Lee.
wow.
I'm going, Carl, once again, you are a major klutz. So you are a klutz. You don't even know who you're bumping into. It's just that those events, the event down there that happens early March, is so full of people you never know who you're going to meet.
Wow.
It- MMA fighters to famous martial artists to whoever, fitness people, so it was a great experience. Uh, when I moved here to Hawaii, I get it in a slower pace. This is because I live in Hilo. It's really cool, but
Yeah.
such a cool place because every now and then I hear those stories. And I run into a person who's been with Villarreal, or I
Oh,
met a guy I met a guy um who was a nephew of Ben Largusa, and I'm kind of like, whoa, what the crap, around these people. We have a local school here that's Kaji Kempo. Tony Ramos Kaji Kempo, his daughter runs it. Sifu and Nessa. I've gone to the school, trained Doce Pares with her brother-in-law when he comes in from California, and staring at me off the wall is a picture of Bruce Lee with Kaji Kempo guys.
wow.
So it's nice, kind of unbroken line, and I'm meeting people and know people, and I've trained with Dorobio people who have stories of Guradan training with Braulio Pedoy. So that I feel like I'm kind of I'm tracking over someone else's steps, but I'm doing it to learn. I'm doing it respectfully.
Right, of course.
It's just, some days it's just like, wow, what in the world just happened? When I first got here and I was trying to put out flyers that I'm teaching a small class or whatever, had some of the older gentlemen in town go, "You with Danny?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." "Oh, that's really good." And I'm like, what the crap? What am I running into here? You don't know. I start feeling like the little kid here. I'm going,
And this concludes the abbreviated version of the podcast. Please consider supporting the program by going to www.patreon.com/MALMAG and subscribing to the show. You can also purchase this individual episode or any individual episode at our Gumroad page. That's malmag.gumroad.com. Thank you for listening to this episode with Karl Carlysle. Coming up next week is our 100th show, and this time we're featuring an amazing guest, martial arts and movie legend Jeff Imada. Our Malmag online store at martialartslifestylemagazine.com has a full selection of Timmy B's brand sticks for FMA and Krabiker Bong. Timmy B's brand now selling in Japan as well. Beautiful Timmy B's brand shirts and Dos Manos shirts are available with new t-shirt designs and more products coming soon. An online course in the Dos Manos method for FMA is available under the Courses tab. More courses coming soon. Check out the Places to Train tab to find schools near you, and click on the events calendar page to see what seminars and events are happening all around the world. And of course, visit our main page for articles on the martial arts. Music by Jackal Relic. Martial Arts Lifestyle Magazine and the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast are trademarked and copyrighted by TNT LLC.